Please welcome our presenters to the stage.
So I don't know if many of you know about Kimberly-Clark. We're a $20.4 billion company. We're in, the world uses our brands every day. Probably most of you are using our products today. Maybe you don't even know it. We're in 175 countries, and we're in either the number 1 or number 2 spot in 70 of those countries. So what do I love about Kimberly-Clark is we are a super caring organization. We not only care about our products, but we care about the planet. We have great things that we're doing in the sustainability space, and you'll hear more in the future about what we do there. Our workplace, we really care about the people and try to make our workplace a fantastic place for all of our employees and show that we really do love them and appreciate all the hard work that they do for us every day. And we care about society. We give back to society in many ways. You may have heard about some of the programs we've done for babies and diaper programs with women and women's health. And even in Africa, we've actually built toilets in Africa to help people there. So we really do care about our society. So what can I tell you about Kimberly-Clark? Right now we have 3 different segments. We have a personal care, a family care, and a professional segment. But what's even more exciting about Kimberly-Clark is we're going to go from our $20 billion company to a $32 billion company in the next few years. We have acquired Kenvue, which I don't know if many of you know of Kenvue, but it was offset of J&J. So we are now going to be a consumer products leader, a health and wellness leader, from consumer products to health and wellness. So you will see us in every stage of life. We will be at the center for a baby, and as you can see, we have a variety of products for all of you that have children out there. Will be in your baby's life. And then as you go from being a baby maybe to a mother, or even as a teenager, you're going to be using our products through your teenage years all the way to when you're at my age and you're in your adult age, your active aging, and using our products in your active aging age. So we have a fantastic lineup. As you can see, we're going to have 10 $1 billion brands in the future. So I'm super excited about the future of Kimberly-Clark. One other thing that we are doing in the midst of all this, and it's important to set up all the changes going on in the corporation, we have also partnered with Suzano. We are actually working with them on part of our business, our professional business, our family care, personal care business. And they are doing a deal with us to help us with the recycled fiber and really make that part of the company thriving for the future. So we're super excited about that. So we've got a setup. As you can see, we are already on our S4 journey. We're working on setting up a separate company now for the Suzano business. And at the same time, we are merging with Kenvue. So there's a lot going on at Kimberly-Clark. So what did we have to start with? We had 4 ECC systems and 1 S4 already completed in Israel. And our goal is to take that to 2 systems, 1 for North America, 1 for rest of the world. What I'm going to tell you about first is our North America journey that we went through with our S4 upgrade that we've already was very super successful with. And we are currently in UAT on our GPM that we're going to talk about here soon. So a fantastic opportunity that we've had here and great progress today. So let me tell you about the North America journey. So we completed in 15 months our North American upgrade with partnership from SAP and Tech Mahindra are here today with us on stage. But we're going to talk a little bit about the upgrade. So we at Kimberly-Clark have a very, very complex SAP landscape. We implemented it back in 2009, and it was highly customized. As you can see, 30,000 plus custom objects. We went from being an on-premise data center IBM mainframe system, from that to a cloud-based system. And of course, like many of you customers out there, we're all having to do this because it's end of life. So one of the things that was a big problem for us is with North America, it's our biggest business, and we were going live with our biggest business first. How crazy is that? But yeah, we were going live with the biggest business first with the highest amount of risk. So what we did there was really, what you're going to hear is we did a lot of testing and to ensure that the program was successful. And that was probably one of the lessons learned as we're going to get to the end of this. But as we got through that, we used Smart Shift to do a lot of our customizing of the old code to the new code, so it's S4 ready. And then at the end of this, we ended up with a faster system, and the users are super excited, super happy with the landscape that we have in place now. So, benefits delivered. We had, like I said, we had a very complex environment. We had 1,000 integrations. I'm sure many of you have 1,000 integrations too, but at the time it seems like a lot. We also had a lot of legacy applications, 25,000 North American users that we had to work with, and we don't even have the number of plants on there, but we had over 21 plants that we had to convert on that same weekend. So as you can see, we had a very complex platform that we were trying to upgrade, and we had a super successful upgrade. It was 50 hours from start to finish. That weekend was full of excitement. The team worked hard. Any kind of issues that we had, they addressed them fairly quickly. But to get there beforehand, like I said, we had 2 dress rehearsals, multiple testing scenarios. As you can see, our SIT pass rate was 99.7%, which is pretty incredible. We just finished our GPM model at 99.9 for SIT pass rate. So we're having some fantastic success there. So I'm going to pass it over to Surya, who's going to talk a little bit about what we did with the RISE upgrade with SAP.
So thanks, first of all, to our dynamic leader, Kim, and also she has been a caring manager, just like how our brand is. All right, so about RISE. RISE has been a very calculated and a very thoughtful move for us. We've been doing a lot of research before we went into RISE, and we finally decided to go with RISE for our rest of the world ES4 SAP landscape. So eventually we'll all move. We are planning to move all our SAP systems into RISE. We are proud to also say that this is one of the complex migrations that we have done in-house, moving to RISE. And it's been a year since we moved, and in fact today also at the conference, a lot of them were asking me how has been the journey moving to RISE. So it has been very good, and it has been seamless, and yeah, so far it has been very good for us. And we are now all our SAP systems, half of them are on, and the North America will also be eventually moved. So that's a bit about our RISE journey so far, and yeah, like I said, it's been very good till now. Touch wood.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Vinay. He's from Tech Mahindra. He's going to talk a little bit about what we've seen there, our support for the system. So
absolutely, thank you so much. And you know, if you look at the header, right, that speaks volumes. Silence is gold. So what does it mean, right? When we actually went live, right, it was so silent. Actually, we were a little worried. What's really going on, right? Has it gone well, or what's? But the users, absolutely no defects, absolutely happy. That spoke volumes of the quantity and the volume and the quality of work that was delivered, right, as a team. So, and obviously there were a lot of benefits that got derived from this program. Obviously, Kim talked about the complexity and so on and so forth. The biggest thing that came up clearly was a 40% reduction in the technical debt, right? From 11 TB data size to a 7.5 TB. It was a huge change, right? And you can imagine the velocity that it gave to the system, to the performance, that got delivered. And if you look at the ticket trend, right, almost 20% of the incidents got reduced over a period of 1 year. And the biggest thing, what we observed is that absolutely no P1s logged, right, post go live. So that was the kind of stability that we achieved as one team. And the other parameter was obviously the system performance, as I talked about, right? And obviously, based on the improvement and so on. The system actually, the way it was performing almost like 10 times the way it was actually performing before actually going live, right? And obviously, if you look at this P1, P2, some data we put in, that kind of talks about the quality of the work that the team delivered, wherein at the end of the day, the P1s and the P2s were bare minimum, and in fact, P1 was 0. But the way it was established was that it was well established, absolutely noise-free, that kind of really spoke about the quality of the work that we, as a team, that we delivered. Now, here, there are many parameters, right? I mean, the biggest contributor is that the entire ecosystem working as one team, right? It was not like your problem or my problem. It was all about our problem coming in and trying to solve as one team. So obviously, excellence delivered, as you can see. So that's how the journey was, for 18-month journey that we went through.
Yeah, and as you look at that chart, just so you know, August 2024 was the go live, and you can see that it's definitely, the numbers trended down from that date. So you can see a huge improvement. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about where we are right now. So we are getting ready to deploy China. So as you can see, China, Hong Kong is on the slide. And then we've got the rest of APAC and Indonesia. As I talked about earlier, we're in the middle of UAT. Really shooting for that August 3rd go live. And I would tell you, lesson learned that we are fighting through today really is master data, and data conversion is probably the key. And we're doing a greenfield here, right? So it's a new process model. And what's the tricky part is the mapping from the old way of doing it to the new way. And that's probably the biggest bumps in the road that we're hitting. As far as functionality, the system's functioning as designed, and we're having very, very little issues, bugs there. It's mostly data related, and we're working through that now. So if I was going to give any advice, it's really to spend more time focusing on the data conversion and making sure that you have that well thought out going forward. So let me tell you a little bit about what else we've got going on. We have SAP and team Tech Mahindra, et cetera, working with us on this. We call it Pegasus, but that's the separation work we're doing. So we have to set up new legal entities for our Suzano partners, right? So we're working on that. We've got a huge go live going on this month. We've got several white waves all across the world that we're converting that over, and then we will set them up on their ECCs the day two. As you can see, we're going to be copying all that over for them going forward. Then other thing we've got right now, just doing many meetings on Kenvue and trying to figure out how to integrate them in. We will be looking at integrating them in, probably starting as soon as our day one starts. We're going to be hard at it, trying to get them integrated in. Probably we plan on having all that completed by 2030. So we've got a very aggressive plan with Kenvue currently underway also. So some of our keys to success. Vinay talked about this earlier. We operate as one team at Kimberly-Clark. We try to make sure that our vendors are partners, right? We're all in this together. We're all one team. We're not going to point the finger. Like when we have a problem, it's how do we get together and solve it as a team? Not like, hey, that's your problem, you go fix it. And I would say that was one of the keys to success, is everybody was working together. SAP was there with us. We were all in the war rooms all night, staying up all night, all day, working through any kind of issue, any kind of problem as we went. The other thing is, as you're going through this, the dress rehearsal is very, very important. We're in the middle getting ready to kick off our dress rehearsal for our Asia-Pac China, and it's hard, right, to get ready for that. We had the mock data loads, now we're in dress rehearsal data loads and getting ready for that, because you got to get the business and everybody. What we found in the dress rehearsal for NAS 4 is the first time through, things didn't go as planned, right? So why did that, why weren't we synchronizing and it took longer? So we had to figure out how to take time out of the schedule. So then you'd run that dress rehearsal again, run everybody through the sequence, making sure they knew who's up next, how to do it, all that from end to end. And I know the team may want to chime in there, but that was probably the key, is practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. So definitely make sure you do your dress rehearsals. Test early and thoroughly. The one thing I'm super proud about our user base is they are thorough. Thorough sometimes, so as you're in IT, it's sometimes annoying how thorough they are, finding every little thing that's wrong, but they find it, and that's what you got to make sure you get your best people in there to test early and make sure you test thoroughly. And then finally, communicate. We had a great change management team. We've got a great change management team working with us right now on China, and really getting ahead and communicating to the plants, to the users, what to expect, how it's going to work, and that's really what made everything so successful. So I don't know, anybody want to add anything?
I want to probably touch on the number 2, the multiple dress rehearsals. So yeah, that has been the key for this project, for the successful go live. Along with that, apart from multiple, what we did something different was we created one more test system, a mock system with the same SID, same system ID, and we created that in an isolated network, and we did a couple of testing there right before the go live. That proved to be a game changer. So by doing that, we were able to replicate exactly how things are going to happen in production. So just wanted to mention that because that was something different that we did during this project.
Right. And that's why I think the dress rehearsal is key, and the testing is key as you go through this. Anybody who's on their journey, that's probably the key 2 things that you should take away from this. All right. Thank you, everybody. All right.